And I think it's a lot's happening in Greece. It's gradually happening. Maybe we should accelerate, maybe we should pick up speed, but we're doing small things gradually. We're transitioning over bigger things, and it's also important to be careful in terms of how we promote our products and services. Miss Gerekou, I guess it's your turn. This is the president of the Greek National Tourist Organization, the GNTO. She's going to discuss promoting and advertising our tourist industry, because before we began this session, we were talking about the fact that in the old days we used to talk about alternative forms of tourism, but now they've become mainstream. People are asking for them. The model's changed.
Precisely. Thank you. Thank you very much for this invitation. It is a great pleasure for me to be once again with you, Minister, Professor Kremlis, Madame Koulouri. As the Minister said, we do know that Greece is among the top destinations, and thank God we have actually escaped this very difficult period thanks to hard work and efforts. The reflexes are very good. The availability and preparedness as regards the crisis management has been fruitful. But of course, we should not rest on our laurels, despite the fact that we have had an excellent summer and we still have tourists coming. Anyway, so we are here to confirm that not only we do not rest assured, but to say on the contrary, that both the Ministry for Culture as well as the tourism organization EOT are continuing the promotion of our country. Both entities with 19 offices across the globe are the key promoters of tourism or Greece, and we want to have a positive impact on the citizens on other countries and attract them to visit our country, thanks to the policies drafted at the level of the ministry and EOT, namely. However, we are here today at this meeting, as the minister said, in order to stress the fact that all the campaigns in EOT are characterized by this concept of sustainability. So this is a cross-cutting concept. We have all realized that without this concept, there will be no tourism in the future. And I would like to stress this particular element. So the image of a country, the profile of a country that sets all its policies towards a sustainable tourism, what more can we do in order to be prepared vis-a-vis those expectations? A lot has been achieved, however, a lot remains to be done. We are all aware of that. The government, the ministry, the business community, all the stakeholders that have been partaking in this effort, supporting this effort. So they are transforming their hotels or beaches. The local authorities as well are making an effort towards this sustainable and green future for tourism. But we do not have actually a lot of time available, and unfortunately the pathway is rather long. However, we do have the tools, the policy making tools, the European Union that has established all those tools and policies and regulations. We have the United Nations with the goals. Of course, the consequences for our planet, the negative consequences for our planet are due to the fact that we have climate change. However, it is very good and very positive that we have organizations such as yours, Professor Kremlis, striving and working on all those campaign awareness measures and information in order to mitigate the negative consequences. Of course, this is a long effort. It cannot change from one day to the other. Tourism is, let's say, one of the polluting industries, but how this balance actually will be found in favor of the positive outcomes rather than the negative ones at the level of tourism. This is a challenge and the key objective for us. So we have seen already that this Fit for 55 proposal of the European Commission that is reduced as regard the CO2 emissions by 55% by 2030 to 2050 has already received reactions, and we are already discussing about this green transition objective. So this is a very difficult exercise. We are fully aware of that. In tourism, however, we do have tools in our armamentum, so there are all the more opportunities for sustainability, for the business community, for the civil society, or there are more and more investments and tools for the green investment chapter. So this is to provide incentives in favor of green investments, green hotels. So you need to tap to that and urge our business people towards this direction. Now, very often we discuss the ESG goals. In my view, G is no longer just governance, but it should also involve geopolitics. This is a concept that is becoming all the more established in this new state of play. What is also required is bold, innovative decisions by the leaders in order to be able to talk about action and active steps. And as regards tourism, we need to focus on a sustainable role model and at the level of production and consumption, and there has to be a balance between the two. Not easy, but this is what we need to do. In this frame, we also need to address the question, because we discuss about the natural profile of our country, green profile, and a very attractive one, a highly touristic destination, in order to attract tourism, not only because of our ancient culture, but also because of other aspects of the brand name of Greece that has been developed even before we were aware of that. So to what extent our cultural heritage, the intangible assets of our country can be actually a driver for growth. So culture is not something insignificant. On the contrary, tourism alongside with culture become the most important drivers for growth for Greece. So both the archaeological sites, the cultural sites, and the natural environment. The agri-food sector, how can this not be a tool in our armamentum? EOD indeed focuses across its campaigns on how the hospitality industry is connected with the food industry, the Greek diet in Greece, and our culture. A while ago, during a symposium, we stressed this link, this match between those aspects. It is inconceivable for us to have not to have the Greek landscape and the Greek terroir and all the products cultivated not to be matched to the Greek art, to the Greek cultural heritage, and so forth. And to narrow it down to our discussion, circular economy. We all know that it is not only about plastics free in tourism or zero waste, which is of course is part of the circular economy, but circular economy in tourism has to do about the production, the consumption across all levels. So from the moment that you will have the manufacturing of a product, what are the regulations and the code of ethics behind it before it can be consumed and to the end of its life cycle when it is received back, let's say, from the environment. This is what circular economy is about. So unless we provide knowledge about this to train our youngsters at the level of the schools, to train our community, the citizens, we are indeed waging, if you like, battle in order to convince about the circular economy. But in order to be supported, this chapter has to be part of the entire, let's say, chain, strategic chain at the level of the civil society. Of course, massive tourism is there, I would not argue that they should be abolished. This is a product as well. However, in Greece, we need to reduce it somehow. It should not be on an uncontrolled basis increased at the level of its share. It should be, let's say, existent, but respecting circular economy and sustainability. The minister was very eloquent when he talked about Greece and the taste and the experience, so this experiential destination. The food, the odors, the experiential living memories in a small village. This is where the circular economy and the green sustainability can become more present. Once again, I would like to underscore that awareness raising, information, and the actions in practice are important. There is a huge share of responsibility with the local authorities, even more now in the present. A large part of the European funds are allocated to the regions. Therefore, it is their responsibility in excellent collaboration and under the coordination of central government to make the most of those resources. So advantages and responsibilities, of course, which support it. Any business, any enterprise that does not enter this path of sustainability will be faced with a huge defect. It will not longer be able to be competitive. So all those businesses who want to be competitive on a global scale will be the winners in this battle. So we move ahead. We say yes to the changes. We say yes to the tourism investments, but respecting two parameters. First, based on the bearing capacity documented by studies in the regions that have suffered from an uncontrolled, let's say, development. So you need to diversify that. And in areas, in regions that are less recognized, small islands, for example, but which should not be, let's say, overburdened vis-à-vis their bearing capacity via growth in tourism that would be out of control. Let us also not forget that the climate architecture should be one of the major objectives when it comes to the existing investments and the constructions and the buildings to come, because they can be much less energy consuming. In conclusion, so I would say yes, Greece is the country of well-being, of good quality of living standards. It is a country that can reward its visitors after having experienced so difficult times and dire circumstances, that can offer this balance, this equilibrium between the mind and the body. And indeed, Greece can be a global hub for a sustainable tourism project. And indeed, this is one of our key objectives in our campaign, to redefine Greece on the global map of tourism. We must not forget that life actually is more important than tourism, and I'm sure that you can understand my concept, my thought. And everything that we have been discussing and all that we keep promoting are those three sigmas in Greek: συνεργασία, συντονισμός, συνέπεια, collaboration, coordination, consistency in English. Thank you. Thank you very much.